Hel- Hello, my name is Sharika Dash, and I'm sitting down with my beautiful cousin Latella, and she's going to tell how she survived her pain with my beautiful co-host, Miss Tanya Kennedy.
Hi, Latella, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am awesome. What we want you to do today is just talk. We want you to tell your story. We're not going to interrupt you, and there won't be any questions until the very end. So we just want you to go ahead and tell your story.
Oh, um, maybe if you ask me some questions right now, and I mean, just ask me something. I'm not the type of person who's just outspoken, you know.
Okay, Latella, you
Right,
said you
just ask
wanted
me
to
some
tell us,
things.
you said you wanted to tell us about surviving your pain.
Hmm.
I'm your cousin, so I've been around a lot, and I know you've been through a lot. So we want you to just talk to the audience and tell the audience about something that they went through and how you fought through all the tragedies and traumas that you went through in your life and became the mother and advisor for for your younger cousins and how you raised us and stuff, even though you were going through a lot of things. So you take over and tell everybody the story of how you survived those pains.
Okay. Um, I guess the best place for me to start is my childhood. Um, 3 years old, my father hit me with an iron in my head. 6 years old, he hit me with a ketchup glass bottle in the back of my head in my grandmama's house. I watched him beat my mom. Um, Family man wasn't all that good in my household. Um, 8 years old, I stayed with my dad for a week, and I felt like I was a black sheep of the family because the whole time I was trying to get his attention, I couldn't. So I went out and I got bad, you know, um, take it up a notch. 12 years old, I moved here to Columbia. Before I left, I was raped at the age of 11 by one of my mama's boyfriends. I begged my mama could I stay in her room. She told me yeah. He came home drunk, and I had a golden yellow nightgown on. And when he got finished with me, half of it was red. So, um, my mom and him got in a bigger argument. It wasn't nothing about what I did, what happened between us, but right in there, I knew that I must be a gifted child because I came between him and the knife. My mama stabbing him, and it got to me when she stabbed me in my arm. I took his stab wound, I guess is what you want to say. Um, 12, my grandma got real sick, and she passed out on me in my arms, but she never returned from the hospital. 13, I mean, I got years of pain. Um, I was put I was put a gun to my head, and a guy made me give him oral sex. 14, another one of my mama's boyfriends touched me the wrong way. Um, 15, I got pregnant by rape with my daughter from my mama's boyfriend. He gave me an STD disease, which was called the crabs at the time. Y'all want to say that's gonorrhea. Um, got pregnant. Of course, at that time, girls at my age was getting pregnant at 16. At 15, they call us wild. I was called all kind of names there was, but I also had a boyfriend who stepped up and told my mom that the baby was his, and me and him never had sex. He never touched me. But to this day, he's still a father to my child. Um, I went to Job Corps I was in foster care. You know, I've been through a lot in my lifetime. I started dancing just to feel like I was somebody's celebrity, I guess, you know, surviving the pain. I got date raped. And, well, how about I didn't get raped? It was a date rape drug the guy gave me. But I woke up the next day, didn't know who this man was. The first thing he offered me, did I want him to take me to the hospital? And I said, yeah. He said, I just want to let you know before we go to the hospital, the reason why I'm asking you to take you to the hospital because you don't know me. And I don't want you to think I touched you, even though I didn't touch you. I just want you to feel comfortable around me. He said, I seen that this person had spiked your drink and you was drinking it. By the time I got to your cup, I couldn't get to it in time. So instead of him taking me, he didn't know where to take me because he didn't know me at all. But the next day, he brought me home to my mom. I was safe. I was fine. We went to the hospital. Nothing was wrong with me, anything like that. And I thank him as a guardian angel to this day. I never got to see that man, never in my life. I've been through an abusive relationship. I had to commit myself of being with a man when I was the age of 18 years old. He was 26. He beat me for 3 years of our lifetime, of our relationship. I had to make some choices because I had a daughter at the time. So she was still in foster care, and they wanted me to marry him just to get her back. And I feel like that wasn't right for me to do, but I was going to do it just to get my baby. Well, God worked in mysterious ways. I got custody of my child. Me and her lived with him for like 2 more years. And I got pregnant with my son. And he was a very abusive man. I got a way out of that, and that's why I say that's some of the things I survived with the storm. But when I got to be a grown woman, I had to take care of my kids by myself. I was a single mother with 3 kids. I worked 2 jobs. You know, I struggled. I really did. I went through some good guys, some bad guys. I came to be a teen mentor for students, you know what I'm saying, for young children and everything. I love children. Me and my cousin Sharika, we went through a lot of hard times together, but, you know, I always told her, be positive, be strong. You're going to always be successful regardless of what. I mean, I look at her and look at my daughter, they're my dream idols because, I mean, even though I wanted to do the dream that they're doing, they listened to my advice and they went through it and pushed forward for themselves. So I'm always here to help anybody. I don't care what it is, how it is, what it is, I'm always here. But it's not all about, I kind of like think that pain that I went through because who knows, I might have wouldn't have been the type of woman I am today. And I could stand strong and say, yes, I could have it all or whatever. But I just thank God that I have my life and my children. You know, that's the main thing. My kids taken away from me. And when they're taken away from me for them 7 years, thank God my mama had them. You know, they didn't never know what foster care is like. I never been out of their life, period, regardless of my mama having them or not. I always make initiation to see my kids regardless of how it was. You know, nobody could stop me from seeing something that came out my body, regardless of who it is, paperwork, DSS, however you want to say it, nobody. Child Protective Service could not have done that, nobody. I love my kids, I love my family. I would do anything for anybody. But my storm is when I had an anxiety attack, and I went into I had a stroke for a whole week, you know, and I was in a doctor. And, you know, I told God, I said, you know, all this stuff I'm going through, I'm just tired. I'm stressing out because I have to raise my kids by myself. I have to do all this by myself. Not saying that I couldn't have my family, not saying I couldn't call my family asking for no help. But at the same time, God wanted me to struggle because he wanted to show me that I can survive regardless of what. And to this day, I'm married to a beautiful, godly man, you know, and I say he's godly because of why? Because everything I went through, he still loved me for me, regardless of what. You know how they say a broken woman can never be touched? That's a lie. I'm a living witness. A broken woman can be healed as long as you get the right healing in her from that person. You can't just say you can go with somebody and be broken and be in love. No, that person got to feel every broken part of you and be able to heal you, any kind of wound. But I've been married for 2 years. My oldest child, she's graduated from she's graduated from high school, and she graduated from college. She's a medical assistant. She works for college oncology, cancer patients. My oldest son, he done graduated from high school. He's about to start doing classes sometime this year. My youngest son, he's in high school. He's a freshman in high school. Me, I run a daycare, in-house daycare, and anything you want to ask me, you can ask me. I haven't, told my whole story, but I'm just announcing all the stuff that I've been through and everything like that.
I am amazed.
You amazed why?
Because for me, I can actually take your story and break it up into 2 parts and make my story. My mother that's how I got here. I am the product of rape. My father was raping my mother for years. And so that is, I am that child. So I can relate from that aspect of it, and then I can also relate from being attacked more than once. I can't even compare to what you just told me. Like, if I didn't know that my hair wasn't finna fall all out, what you just told me blew my whole mind. It blew my whole mind, baby, because you should be crazy, and you are not. So I am completely amazed at what I just heard.
The amazing thing about it is,
I kind of like Sharika Ben told me the story a long time ago, and I told her, I said, Sharika, I don't really, want to tell this story because, a lot of people would judge me. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm that only child, and I got raped so many times, and one of my kids is from rape, and I had a child at a young age. It's been a lot of things that I didn't want to tell my story of. There's a lot
of baby, listen to me when I say you are my mama and I am your child. I been where you at. That is amazing to me because you don't know how many people that are gonna get healed from this story. Because there's people that feel like throwaways, and you are not a throwaway.
And this is what I want to say and add to the story. And I know we normally do question and answer, but because I was a part of this story, and I know how when my cousin, me and her are both only children, my mama and her mother are sisters. So when I had times when I was going through something, this girl protected every one of her baby cousins. We got all girls. We don't have no male cousins. We got all girls. She is the oldest of us. She protected us because I can honestly say I've been around all those people. Oh, if she go to bed, I'm going to bed. If I'm falling asleep on the floor, I'm sitting there, she will punch me in my face. Close your legs. Sit down. No, don't you jump up on no man. This is literally who taught us, oh no, y'all gonna sit down. Oh, y'all not gonna play with him. When I go to bed, all y'all come in my bedroom. She literally raised all her girl cousins, and I can honestly say none of us had to go through the things she went through. She kind of sacrificed herself to make sure we was always good. So me being a part of this story, I can add that part on. And right now, with us going through everything we go through, we gonna always make sure she good. We gonna always reach out to her. We gonna always look up to her because she protected so many people. She would rather for somebody to touch her than touch one of us. She would. I literally sit there and saw her beat her stepfather with a shooter. One day she got the child by. I literally saw her beat him with a shoe because her mama got drunk and left us, and I was in the house and she didn't know what he locked the door for. and she beat him in the head with a shoe. And when her mama came home and found him knocked out, we had to break the glass because we got put out the house. So I have literally put herself on the line to protect us.
And see, that's amazing, because I didn't have no help. You know, I was all by. I'm an only child too, but I'm an only child of an only child. And matter of fact, my mom had siblings, but she wasn't raised with them. So when my mom got molested and attacked, I came. My father was the next door neighbor. I saw him every day, but I didn't know he was my father. So when I didn't find out that this man was my father till my mother was dead, and they told me. So for you to go through, and it's like, I had no knowledge of it other than what happened to me. I thought my stuff was isolated, but come to find out, it had happened to my mother. For you to know this and have knowledge of it, and then you say, no, you did this to me, but you're not going to do it to them. You hurt me, but you're not going to hurt them.
Exactly.
And that's a big deal. That's like,
It is.
That's beyond I survived it. Because I survived it and life after loss. Why? Because you lost your innocence. You lost your freedom. You lost so much stuff. And you are still sitting here today as a woman calling on God, thanking him for the husband you have today. I am floored.
Yes.
I don't even know how to. I mean, if this podcast don't explode the internet, I don't even know how, because there's so many women out there that think they are nothing and they think they are trash. And my mother thought she was trash, and I didn't realize that my mother thought she was trash.
I did thought I was trash. I really did. After all those men, and I said, I didn't even get the time to know what love was for myself. And the first thing I fought was for an older man, but he was okay, but he just wanted to beat me. He bought me anything in this world I wanted, but he wanted to beat me. He wanted me to be silly. I was silly and he was Danny Glover. That's how it was. I was silly and he was Danny Glover. He had a bunch of kids, and I tried to raise his 11-year-old daughter at the time, you know, and I'm nothing but 18 years old with a 2-year-old child myself. You know, I went through a lot.
And at one point, she was about to mess up with her husband. I had to come in. I said, baby, you protected us for so long. You found someone who loved you. And I got on the phone, and I called her husband. I said, let me tell you something. Y'all started in church. And what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna take it back to church. Y'all not gonna let nothing from the outside come in and tell this home. I said, my cousin and me have been through so much. And if this is the one time I can save something in her life, I feel I have nothing but. I left Georgia, and I was in South Carolina to make sure that her and her husband didn't break up, because I knew that man was going to be her husband, and I knew she was going to finally get what she deserved for putting herself on the line for us. And I left Georgia, and I was on the phone calling him, y'all going to take this back to church.
And that's
the thing that,
if you look in the Bible, when Jesus came upon the Samaritan woman, and he told her that her sins were forgiven, and that is your story. You're the one that God said, despite it all, despite the times you've been hurt, despite the times that somebody abused you, despite what you think when you look in the mirror, I, God, say that you are my child. I, God, say that you're worthy. I, God, say that I love you. And that is amazing. And I'm going to keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. I might get back on Facebook, on Messenger later on tomorrow, and click you up and go, amazing. And just because I know my own struggle. I know I got to get on here and tell my own story. And so not only does this take courage.
There was a preacher that told me, the same story, and me, I mean, I love God. I read the Bible, but I never heard that story until a preacher told me. He said, "You are Samara,
Samaritan
Samara,
woman. The
Samaritan."
Samaritan
And I
woman.
was like, "What you mean by that?" And he was just like, "Think about it. I want you to read everything about her, and you come back and you see me and you tell me that's not you." And when I came back and when I read the story and I seen the preacher, all I did was cry. He said, "You don't have to cry. Those are tears of joy. Trust me, your pain has been healed." And I didn't understand what he was saying, but I had to live and learn.
Because it's something when you feel like, because this is what I'm gonna say, and I don't know, I relate to this in a very strong way. Because what you did for your daughter, my mother couldn't do for me. You wanted your child regardless of who her father was, and you didn't put her away because she was the product of rape. My mother.
Well, let's go back to that. Well, me and Sharika, we were supposed to take a pregnancy test, and I didn't know I was pregnant. And I was just joking with Sharika with it. We were just joking at the time. We just doing, kid stuff. Because our mothers, they was real strict. That's one thing. They didn't play. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And my mama, she had a drinking problem at the time, but the men in her life, she never knew that they was the type of men they was. You get what I'm saying? They would work. They would show that, They showed me and Sharika that, yeah, I can be the daughter and she could be the niece. They never showed no abusement. You get what I'm saying? Because we was around the whole family, everybody. You never know. But like I said, a lot of people don't know rape starts from home. It really does. It starts within the family and all that. It starts right from home. And if you hear a lot of people's stories, it comes from home. It doesn't come from out in the streets. It's randomly you hear it from out in the streets, but mostly you hear it from home. So me and her was taking this pregnancy test. And I was just like, really, I ain't had my period in a while. And she was like, "What you mean?" I said, "I ain't had my period in a while." Now, at the time, Sharika didn't know I was raped either because she had went back home to her mom in Orangeburg. You get what I'm saying? So I was just coming to her house on the weekends. But I wanted to tell her so bad what happened. You get what I'm saying? Because she was my best friend. So my mom took Sharika in the bathroom and she checked her and see if she had crabs. Sharika didn't have the crabs. I did. So my mama knew right in there somebody had sex. You get what I'm saying? She knows somebody was sex active, but she said you can only get crabs through sex active. My mom was real strict about that. So my mama sent Sharika home. Okay. Sharika was pregnant.
I was supposed to be the one that had this baby because, like I told you, I had never cared about disappointing my mama. So I was going to be the one that I was going to stay with them and be pregnant and bring this baby home to my mama so they wouldn't know she was pregnant.
Right.
Wow.
So I took the pregnancy test and I said, "Sharika, girl, I am pregnant." And I knew right in there who my baby father was. You get what I'm saying? Because like I said, I didn't sleep with my boyfriend yet. So I knew who my baby daddy was. And I just started crying. And Sharika was like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, I got to get rid of this baby. I can't keep this baby. Mama going to kill me. I can't keep this baby. I can't do this. I can't do that. She told me to calm down and breathe. That's the first thing she told me to do. And when I told Sharika the story, what happened to me, she started crying immediately. Her mama and her boyfriend, Eddie, came to the house and immediately came and got me. They didn't tell my mom. I begged my auntie. I said, "Please do not tell my mama. Please do not tell my mama." To this day, I don't know if my auntie told my mama or not. My mama kept a secret because I didn't tell my mama the real truth until I was 25 years old. That's a long time to hold a secret in. Till you're 25 years old. But I told my daughter when she was the age of 8 who her real father was. And she cried too.
But the thing is, again, I'm telling you that you wanting to have an abortion, that's a natural reaction to somebody who had somebody hurt them. But what I'm telling you is, It's, I'm telling you, because I'm listening to your story. It is, I'm telling you, it.
Well, I wanted to have the abortion. Only reason why I didn't have it because for some reason Sharika made me prolong my pregnancy. I don't know how the heck I went till I was 5 months pregnant. 5 months, and they tell me I'm too far along to get an abortion.
And that child was, because that child was supposed to be here. I'm talking about what happened after the baby got here.
She is super amazing.
Oh, what happened after she got here? It was her first doctor's appointment. I never forget. Sharika was living on Swagger Street in Orangeburg. My mom asked me, do I want to go to the doctor's appointment? I told Sharika no. She said, you need to go be with your child. Everybody begged me to go to the hospital, but I wouldn't go be around her, period. I let my mom go to Columbia with her.
She's super amazing. And you made sure she got in college. Everything that you didn't do and everything you did for us, you did that same thing for that baby.
Yeah.
I have seen you go to work 12 hours, go back, because she did finish school. She made sure all of us did what we had to do. She really sacrificed, but she worked hard for her kids. Like, we had high jobs. She worked in Waffle House. She worked in factory. She wasn't worried about no nails and no hair, but her daughter was in college. Her daughter finished school. The same thing she instilled in us, she instilled in that same baby. My cousin, I have kids that dropped out of school. My cousin don't have a child that's crazy enough to tell her they dropping out of school. She don't have one that will tell her. Every one of her kids so far, except for the one that's still in school, has graduated. She plays no games.
But again, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm. When I say you were there to support your kids, I'm not talking about, because my oldest son was almost an abortion too, because I was pregnant and I was like, don't know if I want to do this, and thought about it. And once I got past that and I had my child, he was the most amazing thing in the world, and I raised and took care of and did what I had to do. But I had to get past that. So what I'm telling you is, yeah, you might have thought about it. Yeah, okay. But as a mother who dug in, you dug in and stayed in. And that's what this is about. We can make mistakes. We can have issues and be struggling in our minds because of what we're going through. But you got past that and raised your kids, and your kids are upstanding kids with a college degree, and everybody finished school, and that's a lot considering what you've been through. You could have been a crackhead on the street. You could have been anything. And you chose
I thought about it.
Haven't we all?
I thought about it.
Right, haven't we all?
I know that's right.
But that's what I'm saying. You did better for your kids, and I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, I even helped raise my cousin and her kids too. I took in one of my cousins. She was on drugs real bad, and I let her move in with me, and I worked 2 jobs, and I support her kids. And she was out using drug money to, with the bill money and everything, and I still struggle to pay them bills and take care of her kids. And at the same time, I didn't argue not one bit. She was spending her money on drugs and doing lap dances in front of her kids, and her kids are successful to this day, though. They really are. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing I can say about our family in general. We definitely came a long way from where we started from. We started out, my grandmother, she had no education. She was a maid for people. She was a maid for certain color people. She was their housekeeper. My grandmother had her first child at 13 years old. But she did the best she can, and I hear her stories about what they didn't have and all the things that they went through and how they were separated. Some was raised by some people, some was raised by others, and how
she wasn't even, but our grandmother didn't even have a mother. Her mama died at childbirth.
Yeah. And
so she was raised by, her and my mom was raised by the same people, Because my mom is her oldest child. She's talking about. You know what I'm saying? They was raised together.
So,
but they was amazing women. My grandma was very amazing. She inspired me a whole lot. She had 7 kids and she took care of all of them. You get what I'm saying? Like, all her children are amazing. They all got something going for themselves. My uncle Rob, I was there. He was
army.
Yeah, he was in the army.
Cosmetologist.
Yes.
And
my aunt.
And nobody had no student loans. Nobody had any.
None of that.
Houses.
None of that.
We saw her had heart attacks. We saw her on dialysis. We saw her with diabetes. We saw all these things, but never one of her kids had a student loan.
And one thing I love about my grandma, she never hired me and Sharika on nothing in her life. She told us everything. She been positive. She never hired us on nothing. If anything was going tremendously down, she let us see it. She talked about it. She said, don't hire nothing because you're going to have to go through this with life too. Never hire anything.
When my cousin mother was being abused by her husband, my grandmother paid for the divorce to get her out of there. It was just
exactly.
She didn't
but she
have
didn't tell you about the 12 gauge she had at my daddy. Sharika missed that part. She had the 12 gauge at the grocery store, right there about to blow his brains away. Yeah, she did. And it took Mr. Metz, the white man is standing in front of my grandmama and took her home with her 12 gauge. Now the police came and locked her up or nothing. She was gonna love about him.
Grandma was sweet, but grandma didn't play. Yeah, grandma had her moment, but there was. What little she had, she didn't mind giving it for her kids. And I can say I'm probably the most spoiled, selfish one of all of them, because every one of my cousins have real big heart. But I'm just the most spoiled and selfish of all of them, probably.
More of a crybaby of anything. Like, just say if I tell Sharika don't tell this, she gonna say, I ain't gonna tell, but go right there and tell grandma everything.
Yeah, because
I get the beating for me and Sharika. Because I be wanting to say.
Mess. You on time out, Sharika. You on time out. You know what? If you could, I heard you say that you mentor kids. What made you do that? What made you do that? And why was that important for you?
Okay, well, I had this little girl who came to my house. She had this little boy. She was real young. And I feel like at the time of her age, I went through a lot at my age. But what made me mentor kids is that she was going through a whole storm that nobody never knew about. You know what I'm saying? She was never raped, but she was abused. You get what I'm saying? Like, verbally abused, beaten on by her parents and everything. And she ended up having a boy. She ended up getting pregnant by an older man. So he put her out and put the baby out too. She left me the little boy for a year.
Wow.
And I just took him on. You get what I'm saying? But when she came back, she was correct. I only let him go out my care because I know he was gonna be secure. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
She had a job. She had everything good to go. Now, all she had to do was go back to school.
Right.
She's a nurse. She's a LPN right now. She's very successful.
Wow.
And I told her my story. And me and her was telling each other stories. And she's like, you'll make a good mentor. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Ain't nobody gonna want to hear, no depressing stuff. And she said, you don't know that. She said, you helped me. You helped me survive. You really did. And look at my son. I got him and everything. Can I make you one of my guests to tell my story? I said, no, don't do that. Tell your story. She said, yes, but I'm gonna tell who the one who put me here where I'm at. I mean, she wanted to kill herself and all that. When I met her, she was on cocaine real bad. So it was the guy who she was with. I'm pretty sure he put it in her head or whatever. But I see that she wasn't the type of person who wanted to be on that. You know what I'm saying? She was just needed a way to break through. So I put her in rehab. And after rehab, I told her only how you can get your son is you have a successful job or you go to school. You got to show me that you can take care of him. You show me that you was ready to be there for him. Something got to show me you want to be his mother. She kept sending me pictures of her in school. She kept sending me her grades. She kept showing me that she was going to work. She kept doing all this. And not one day, I never let that little boy know that I was even his mother. I let him know who his mother was and everything. I showed him pictures. Now today we had like videos and all this and that. That would be fun for him to see. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But today he's 14 years old. Yeah, he's 14 years old. He's about to go to high school. He only have a speech problem. But they're doing very good.
But again, so what are we calling this organization for young women that you're getting ready to start?
Oh, she's amazing.
Because the thing about it is, I do a lot of what you do. I mentor young girls. They end up in my house. That's always a thing for me. And so, what are you going to do with what God has given you? Your story's not depressing because you're not dead and you're not strung out and you've helped other people. You have...
Including me?
Right. Including my lovely co-host.
Yeah.
You have a testimony, and your test is your testimony. Your mess is your message. You have a story to tell to young women everywhere who have gone through stuff that you've gone through, and they weren't strong enough, and so they my mother ended up being a criminal. My mother ended up being a lesbian. My mother ended up on drugs. My mother was tortured and a tortured soul, and she didn't have the story that you have. Your story is a story of
You
healing.
think your mother ended up being a lesbian because she was touched by a man?
She was touched by a man and a woman.
Okay, well, one thing that I know being raped can make you three things. It can make you have a high sex drive, it can make you be a serial killer, or it can make you love the opposite of sex.
Oh, I know. I know, I say that all the time. Yeah, you either gonna be a serial killer or you're gonna be scared of it.
If you put me in the category, I think I'm all three of them.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I said it.
Okay.
When I started dancing, I really too much was crazy about men.
Right.
It was a woman who had the preference of feeling how I was feeling. So I was in a 2.5-year relationship with a woman.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. When I got with my last son's father, I practically almost wanted to kill him. Literally. You know what I'm saying? I used to poison the men with spaghetti. I used to put rat poison in their food. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Put bleach in their milk. Oh, yeah, I used to do it all. You get what I'm saying? So, when I say that, and I had a high sex drive, I used to have orgies. You get what I'm saying? Wow. Threesomes, foursomes, all that. So when I said, when a doctor tells me that you need to get in your inner self, I know all my inner selves because I done did all the things in my head I can think of doing. You get what I'm saying? But my rape taught me very much so that men could be dirty, they could be conniving, they could say anything they want to say. But when you tell them no and they don't respect that, kill them. That's my answer. Kill them.
Don't kill them.
Because I feel like ain't nobody should live on this earth and be able to take what it take from you and just be able to live good. The rapists are mine. They both of them got prostate cancer and having a bad life.
See, that's the thing. They don't live good, so you don't have to harm them.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
But you know what though? It takes when you, because I've been there to kill before. I've been there. My first husband, I put a hurting on that man on most days, and because I had a high sex drive, and I had the only reason why I didn't do the opposite sex was because I hated my mother, and because I hated my mother and that was her thing, I didn't want to do anything that looked like her. So
Okay, let me
that
ask
was
you a
the
question.
only reason I didn't go that way.
Why did you hate your mother? Give me a good reason why you hate your mother. What did she do to you?
Why did I hate her? Why did I hate her then, and why don't I hate her now? Or why did I hate her then, just period? I hated her then. Because I felt like, because when I was a child, I didn't know that she was raped. I knew I had been molested, and my mother was abusive. So whenever I would leave my grandmother and go with my mother was beating the crap out of me. Like I was a target. And I never knew, well, I'm a target because I'm the product of this other thing. I never knew that she hated herself.
Okay. Let me tell you why that she attacked you. Okay? I never beat on my child, but I was very distant from her. And for a while, she looked like the same man who attacked me for a while. And I didn't want to be nowhere around her. See, you got to understand the fact your mama wasn't beating on you. She was beating on the person that she seen in her eyes that you look like. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure now that you're older, she done came to you and told you, I'm sorry for abusing you. I'm sorry for doing this and that to you.
I never got that. My
But
mother
you have to
died.
understand.
I never got that. My mother passed away in 2012. I never got that. I got that from my family members who told me, oh, she loved you and oh, she talked about you. I forgave her because when I got grown and my child got molested by my boyfriend and I never knew it. When I went later on and found out about it and realized all of this stuff, then I was able to look back and forgive my mother because it happened to me. Because I was able to say, okay, I'm a woman, she's a woman. That's pain. I understand that pain because I understand she was helpless. She couldn't help it. And then when I realized he was the man next door, I'm like, oh my God. So I look exactly like my mother in the face. The rest of me is not. But I have her face. So I'm tall.
She never told you that she was raped. That she was raped by.
She told me she was raped.
She never spoke to you about her.
She told me she was raped, but she lied about my father. She put Jesse Jackson's name on my birth certificate.
Well, I mean,
Stop that, Miss Rika.
it's not funny, Rita. It's not funny. I feel her though. I feel her
But
because
that's why,
you never know.
But that's why your story is a big deal to me specifically because I lived parts of your story, so I understand. And you funny, Sharika. When I found out it was a lie, I laughed too because I was like, Mama, because my mother grew up with his daughter. She knew him. So because she grew up with his daughter, because we from California and that's where he was at, that was the name she put on the birth certificate. And then she told everybody this whole elaborate story about this guy. But when my mother died in 2012 and I went back home to California, my aunt said, oh, we all knew who your daddy was. Really? I'm 38 years old. Are y'all serious right now? That was how I found out.
But
See, you were able to tell your child at 8 years old, hey, this is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I didn't get that. I was grown, well grown. I was almost 40 when I found out.
But Tanya, I honestly understand that feeling you had because a lot of things with my mother, I didn't understand it. And when I thought that I was out to get my mom and hurt my mother, I had to have kids to realize a lot of things that parents do. I had to become a mother, and I literally had to go back and apologize. Like, I didn't understand why you was doing that. But now that I'm a mother, I totally feel you. I understand. And I was dead wrong. So by the time my mother got sick with cancer and I started taking care of my mother, I treated my mama like a baby because I felt I owed her so much, because who am I to judge somebody? Why am I judging you?
Right. And for me, after I found out, when I went back home to California and found out, not only was it was some more mess in my family by some other family members that I will not mention their name on this podcast. I found out some more dirt about some more folk that's still breathing, so I can't say nothing. Then I found out about my mom and daddy, and then so when I came home, I was grabbing kids. Listen, let me tell you all this, and this.
Exactly.
Because what's not gonna happen is I'm gonna be dead and you're not gonna know. And hey, come here, baby. Let me tell you this, and this. I laid it out.
Exactly.
I laid it out because I didn't want them to not know. I'm like, you're not gonna go through your life not knowing what was going on back then that I thought I was protecting you from, for you to get grown and for it to bite you later.
I told mine like this. I said, wherever you hear in the streets, I want to be the first woman you hear it from.
Right.
I don't want nobody to tell you nothing totally different in the streets than what I'm going to tell you, because I'm going to tell you the exact truth. Details and all facts.
And the way I heard it,
I never hide that from my kids.
The way I heard it was so jacked up. Because I had a cousin tell me something jacked up. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I said, that's just as bad as me not knowing who my father is. And my aunt, who is also now dead, turned around and said, well, baby, we all knew who your daddy was. Your daddy was such and such's boyfriend. He lived next door. She just started going, do. And I'm like, wait, what? Oh, really? So I admire you, baby, because, again, everything that you didn't hold nothing back from your kids, you let them know what was going on. You stood and delivered and worked however many, you worked like a Jamaican 1,200 jobs in order to take care of your kids and take care of the little people that came up underneath you. I am not mad at you in the least bit. I commend you.
I respect it.
Yeah, I respect that, baby. I have the utmost respect for you.
She would tell you, no matter where she at, if she in a car sleep, I'm coming to sleep in that car sometime. I'm coming to stay wherever you at. And how we gonna fix this? How me and you gonna get this done? I have never forgotten the things she's done for us and how she's loved us unconditionally and unselfishly, because she could have said.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Proverbs 31 woman. When you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, everybody talks about Proverbs 31 woman and all the stuff that she does, but we don't know what this chick went through to become who she was.
Exactly.
The Proverbs 31 woman is the end result of God has perfected this woman through her life and her trials and her struggles. So when her husband gets her, she's this amazing woman, but nobody knows what she went through to get there. I have never known any of the generals in ministry. You start naming off generals in ministry, including my own spiritual parents, and they have gone through something, and now you see them, and they're these great, powerful men and women of God, but they went through HE-double hockey sticks to get here. And so when you look at somebody else's story and you say, oh my God, so amazing, I want to be just like you, and then you go, baby, no you don't. Because in order for me to get here, I had to go through all of that over there to get here. And you might not be able to survive what I went through over there to get here. And that's the thing. I survived, and that's when I got on the other day and I talked about what is I survived it about, what is life after loss about, what is changing lives through media about. This is it.
Exactly.
This right here, it is about the lives that get changed from the stories that get told. So when you talk about your story, when you just started, so well, this happened I was 2, and this happened I was 5, and this happened, I'm like, is she gonna stop? God dang, how many ages is she? Every pivotal age in childhood where a child's life changes, somebody did something to you. I'm talking, your body changed every 7 years.
Exactly.
So every 4, 5, 6 years, somebody was doing something to you. And you get to a place where you start thinking, do I have rape meat tattooed across my forehead and I can't see it? Because
Exactly.
I know,
That's what I thought it was too.
because I want to say one successful, 1, 2, 3 attempts for me. It wasn't how yours was. I tried to be a dancer. I tried to go that route, and I don't know why I didn't, because I was close. Because I could throw that thing back. I'm old now. I can throw that thing back then, girl. I can't throw nothing now. So I don't know why I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. I went to the club to audition. I was 18 years old. I never forget. And I didn't have no kids then yet either. And because God blessed me to not have any kids until I was in my 20s. So I didn't have no kids till I was in my 20s. So
That's awesome. Wow, I wish.
right. And
I had my last baby when I was 28 years old.
I had my last baby at 34 because I'm crazy. And as much as I love my child, once you get past 30, child, you should not be having kids. Because stuff don't bounce back, God doggone it.
Let me tell y'all women something. I gotta commend anybody that went through anything, because my little spoiled behind, I'm telling you now, I would be on somebody murder something, kill everybody, that kill something. I promise you, I gotta commend everybody who went through something like that. And I would never judge nobody no more, because like I told you about my mama, I gave her the business. And it was when I was about 20 and married, because my mama kept telling me, why you want to marry this man? This man ain't beating you. This man ain't this man ain't that. Because my mama didn't know love. She was abused, and she was molested by her stepmother, and she didn't know love. But she had the kind of mama that killed people, so you can't tell her mama that she was molested. So she had to hold that in.
Right.
And she couldn't tell this big mouth baby of hers, because I would have told my grandma, you know your husband touched my mama? I would have told. So she had to...
See, they tell you she a snitch, see?
From the word go.
And so when I heard the stories and all the things that my mama went through, so I was like, oh, so that's why I got busted in my face when I was doing this. That's why I got slapped when I was doing... Oh, you was protecting me. See, I thought you hated me. Or I just didn't understand. I thought you were just crazy. So now I want to be crazy, and I want to get back at you. Then I actually had to learn that I ended up loving her, but sometimes you just can't keep stuff from your kids, because we don't understand as babies. You beating me down and you cussing me out. You got to give me some reasons why, because I'm just thinking I'm going to school and I'm getting good grades. I should be all right. What you mean? You should be cool. But when you just knocking me all around, and like when I listen to my mom and I listen to, okay, this is why you couldn't do this, I'm like, my little spoiled behind who my daddy made me feel like I was just everything, and you made me feel like I was everything. Somebody would have touched me, I would have lost every piece of my mind.
And see, that was, but you know what? My first husband caught all of that because he was verbally abusive. So because my first husband was verbally abusive, and I had made it up in my mind, I ain't had no daddy. I was molested by several people. I was not finna let you, so you come off your face crazy, I'm finna bust you down. It ain't he caught these things. I put these paws on him, and I put him, and he couldn't fight, so that didn't help him none, because I was coming for him. And I drugged him on several different occasions. He was getting drugged, and he got drugged for 6 years. But something was wrong with him too, because it was like, after I drag you, now you want to lay down. You want to be intimate. Now I drug you, now you want to be intimate with me. But that don't make sense to me. You should be scared of me, to be honest. But because so our relationship was very warped. And then he would tell me things like, my family gonna take your kids. If you leave me, my family will take your kids. You poor, you black, you this, you that. My family gonna take your kids, blah, 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 blah. So on the one hand, I'm beating the piss out of him, but on the other hand, he's verbally and mentally abusing me. So it was like mutual abuse.
He hurt you more than you was hurting him with them hands.
Right.
When somebody can
very much so, because the words he was saying, verbal abuse is worse than physical abuse.
That's the worst thing in the world, and that's the one thing I just admire: confidence. because confidence can take you where anything else can. Because if you're confident enough to know that you can say anything you want to say about me, but that don't make me that, that's just everything. Because that makes the difference in a whole lot of women's life.
I was 38, 39, almost 40, and I'm 46 when I started to look in the mirror and go, well, goddamn, girl, girl, goddamn. It took years. And it took me having good
All you
pastors.
had to do was mix spirit with power. Mix spirit with power. That's how I feel.
I don't know what it is you was looking in the mirror seeing, but you a piece of something special.
Well, go ahead then. But I didn't, all I saw, but see, and that's why I said, when me and your cousin could sit down and talk about some things, because all I saw when I looked in the mirror was trash. I didn't see anything else.
Me too.
When you got a mother that don't want you and abuse you, right?
Ain't no real man gonna want me, so let me go out here and script.
I am garbage, and that's what I saw. And I didn't see the beauty. I saw garbage. And people would tell me I was pretty. That's nice. And if men told me I was pretty, I'm taking my clothes off. That's what I saw. All I had was a booty and some boobs, and I thought, well, this works. This up here don't work. This up here don't work, but this works. And I can talk. So me talking, I walk in the club and get your man and some drinks and some dinner and whatever else, because I can run my mouth. And I can dance. So I didn't have to go to the strip club. I go to the regular club and catch your man and his money and whatever else. Because I knew that I had that. I didn't think I had this.
So at the time you had the attitude like men's wasn't really nobody but somebody you just get something out of.
If I can make you, listen, baby, if I can make you, ooh, I thought I was the best thing in the world. Ooh, did you, ooh? Let me, ooh, I'm finna get you. Because you said, ooh, okay, let me make you ooh some more because you finna spend your money on me. So let me make you ooh. And that was what I thought. Whatever I can get out of you, if I can make you have that feeling, and I knew I could, baby. That was everything to me.
My super life was a little bit different than that.
But God came in
I started dancing,
so much more.
And me and my cousin Peaches, we started dancing. And next thing you know, we just started robbing dudes.
Ooh.
We get them, wind them down, dance with them and all that, get them to a motel room, make sure they drop their pants, and bam, we got money. We going home for the night.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? That's what we go to the club for. We might have been on stage a couple times, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But our main thing was to come and rob them.
Right.
I wanted to do men as dirty as they did me. I wanted them to suffer just as bad as I suffer.
But see,
I wasn't after the suffering. I was after the control. Because for me, I had no control over my own life. So my goal was to control you. And if I got you helpless, you're going to give me your money. I didn't have to take it. That was my thought process.
Well, my thought was,
look at
as long as I can wind and dine you to where I want you to where I got, what I'm saying, like you say, control you. As long as I can wind down you in your mind, and I got your mind the way I want to, I can get anything I want out of you. I don't care if you was married. I don't care if you had kids. It just didn't matter to me.
And see, I
was a pimp. I was a pimp, not trying to take just your money, but I'm trying to take your whole soul. I did men's real damage. I did them real bad. Even my husband right here. You get what I'm saying? But
he don't look damaged now. He look like he cuddling with that ear over there. He don't look damaged now. He said, "You're my boo thing on him."
Yeah.
He don't look damaged at all, baby.
But let me tell y'all.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's the only man. He's the only man to put it this way. You know how some guys try to hit on you, and so you're like, okay, whatever. But at the same time, I didn't want him, period. Not one bit did I want my husband. But he kept trying. He kept saying things, not how these guys be saying you beautiful or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He would say stuff about quotes out the Bible. He would say things that, you need to go ahead and let the anger go, and you know what I'm saying? All this is just like everything he was saying. I was like, oh my God, what this man just
He took your soul. What you thought you was doing there?
So one day, he asked me to go to lunch with him. I was like, okay, yeah, I go. You get what I'm saying? And ever since that lunch, I ain't left him since.
Well, it said, my Bible say a man that find a wife.
For lunch.
My Bible say a man that find a wife find a good thing. So he knew when he found you what he had.
He gave me $5 for lunch. That's the first time a man ever gave me cheap lunch. He gave me $5 to the Subway. Our first date was at church.
Yeah.
The next time we walk in that church, we was married.
Wow. So he wasn't playing the radio, baby. He was like, man find wife, find good thing. I found my good thing. I'm done. Gimme. Come on. Let go. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't hear nothing what you're saying out your mouth. Whatever, girl. Come on, bring that thing on over here. You belong to me. And that's exactly what he said. He like, thank you, high five, Jesus, clap. Okay, give me my woman, goddamn.
After he even got the woman, it took him 6 months for us to even have sex. So I knew.
Wow.
That. I knew.
Wow.
I just knew.
Because I'm going to tell you, the thing about it is, there are people that need to hear what we have to say. You have been listening to I Survived It with your hosts, Sharika Dash and Tanya Kennedy. This podcast is brought to you by the Changing Lives Through Media Network, Dash Entertainment, and the Tanya Kennedy Media Ministry. You can find us on Facebook at Life After Loss, LYFEAFTERLOSS, on YouTube at Life After Loss, LIFEAFTERLOSS, and on Instagram at life_after_loss, on Twitter at CLTM9.